Alright, what's going on, guys? My name is Logan with West Desert Shooter. I have got great news. I finally got the call for the second time. Out mounted on the front of this rifle is my suppressor that I've had for a little over a year now. This is the OSS HXQD Magnum tie suppressor. What that means is it's their big brother in the lineup. It's got a 338 bore. It's got a little bit longer length, maybe even a little bit larger outside diameter than its smaller brother, which I just received the other day. So this is my OSS HXQD 7.62 tie can. Both of these are titanium suppressors. They are both OSS cans with their patented flow-through technology, so they got that cool looking end cap, and gases actually escape outside of just the bore. And they use a very unique system to slow and cool down the hot gases, which create all the noise when you fire your rifle. On top of that, OSS has really, the main reason they focused on that style design is to reduce back pressure and reduce blowback of the hot, disgusting gases that get kicked back in your face on a platform like this Uintah Precision semi-automatic AR-15. So what I want to do today is I've got both my cans out here. This is actually my first trip with the new can, so I'm real excited to get to hear it and test it and finally have my hands on it after waiting the full 10 months, thanks to the NFA, where I had to pay my extortion tax and get that taken care of, as well as the ATF. Gotta love it all. So, got my Uintah Precision AR-15 here. This is chambered in 5.56. I think it's 223 Wild is what it's chambered in, which is my preferred chambering. I've got some reloads sitting in here. It's got some 69 grain Sierra Match Kings on top of 24 grains of Varget and some PMC brass with some Federal primers. And what we're going to do is shoot the rifle with my older can, so the HX Magnum can. So the 338 bore on there. We're going to shoot 100 yards, put a group down there, and then we're going to remove the can, shoot another group, and then put the new can on and shoot a group. And we're going to be looking for a few different things here. We're going to be looking for POI shift as well as group size. We're going to be listening to things as I go, and overall just kind of get a feel for the new can. This is kind of a simple first trip out here, and then I'll probably follow this up. I've really been wanting to go out and shoot far, so soon we're going to be doing a long range trip because the temperatures are finally cooling off down where I'm at. In the summer out here, it's just unbearable. So let's start shooting, guys. So this is the original can, like I said. Make sure this guy's nice and tight. Yep, it's not wiggling, not doing anything. And then we got our Arcon Optics SH4 Gen 2 up top. One of my favorite optics. For the price, cannot be beaten. Zero stop, first focal plane, big tactical turrets, side focus, illumination, all for 450 bucks. I've got an affiliate link down below to Arcon Optics if you guys want to pick one up. Code WDS will get you free shipping at checkout. Okay, so one thing I want to focus on here while doing this type of testing is just follow through and shooting and making sure I'm doing the best practices, best form, trying to really make sure that I shoot correctly here. Okay, now when I picked up the new can, I did get the new wrench for the OSS, so that will be quite handy in removing suppressors. Not sure I'm threading it right the incorrect way because it's left-hand thread. Alright, should be lifting. There she goes. Okay, now we're going to shoot a group with no suppressor on. And then just for quick reference, there's the length difference from the 338 to the 7.62. A little bit different there. Now, I have always hated shooting with earmuffs on rifles. The way I shoot, I really like to smash my cheek down onto the rifle. And it just doesn't complement that style of shooting. It likes to push the earmuff off your head. So, okay guys, let's see what happens here. Alright guys, got the HXQD 7.62 tie on here. We're gonna shoot it third and final group with the AR-15. Man, this thing really doesn't recoil much at all with the suppressor on here. I'll tell you what, so far the group with the new can is looking the best. So let's go take a look at the groups. So what we've learned here is that my rifle was not zeroed correctly. It was hitting high like I mentioned, and then without the can you can see a large shift up. This is pretty obvious because you hang a weight on the end of your barrel, it's going to naturally pull it down, and even if it's just a couple thousandths possibly, it will make a difference out here at the longer ranges. This is at 100 yards. Obviously, every progressive distance, it's going to get worse. So right here, it's got the 7.62 can. Like I say, nice tight group. Those are 22 caliber holes. So you're like 0.6 inch group there, pretty sweet. So like I mentioned, we want to talk about the difference in POI between the two cans. That's mostly what I'm focusing on here, is between the two. So it looks like the Magnum, because it's a longer, heavier can, pulls it down just a little bit more. The average group impact, I would say, is right at the top of the crosshair. As we can see here, it's much further up. So it's halfway between where the Magnum is and no can. As far as left and right goes, this is pretty well centered directly over the crosshair, just like this is pretty well centered directly over the crosshair. So switching these in between my AR-15, they're going to have pretty similar points of impact. The 7.62 is just going to be a little bit closer to the no can 0, so that's pretty good to know. And we're going to move on to the 6.5 Creedmoor. So we got the Magnum can mounted up to my 300 black pistol. One thing I want to bring up is that they use the same mount, so having a HXQD mount, or the quick disconnect mount, that direct threads onto your barrels, so they make different mounts obviously for half 28, 5/8 24. This is a 5/8 24 can because it's a 300 blackout, so it's got a 30 caliber diameter, and just this can freely spins right on and off, so I can use both cans on this, not a problem. And then I've got the mounts on all my different rifles, so I can easily switch cans or take the cans off if I want. All right, guys, here we are, the Uintah Precision UPR-10. This is the AR-10 version of the Uintah Precision bolt-action rifle. Man, I love this gun. It's got a Proof Research 23, 24-inch barrel, and then it's got the Magnum suppressor out here to start with. We're going to do the exact same running order here. Got the Arcanoptics SH4 Gen 2. This one is the 6-24. Because this is the big brother, so we're going to reach out a little further. We're probably going to want a little more magnification than what the AR-15 4-16 has. Okay, guys, got my parallax set. Everything's ready to roll. Got one in the chamber. Got that MDT Skypod digging into the dirt out here. Let's let them rip. Okay, this one 0 is much better than my AR-15 was. All right. Okay, so with the can on, we are on the tee. I'll pop the can off, shoot it without a suppressor. Put the ear pro on now, because the Creedmoor with the brake under this can, you might not have hearing after that. Shooting a radial brake while lying prone is never fun, so here we go. I'm waiting for the dust to go flying into my eyeballs. POI is pretty wildly different on that, and I've never shot a group that bad with this gun, so that's very interesting. So a cartridge like the 6.5 Creedmoor, you're going to be trying to calm down a lot bigger boom. So the smaller can, I'm curious how the performance will be on sound with the smaller can. Huh. Let's go take a look. All right, guys, so I wouldn't have expected this big of a difference here. Magnum, nice tight grouping, 3 6.5 bullets right next to each other, so somewhere in that like 0.6 range on those. Then we got this big ugly group. This is like well over an inch, inch and a quarter, inch and a half. I don't like that at all. That really sucks. Notice the POI shift. Aiming here, aiming here, aiming here. So with the Magnum, the heaviest can, it should be the lowest point. No can definitely is the highest point up here. And you're seeing more of a dramatic shift up with this Creedmoor than you are with the AR-15. And the 7.62 brought it down about halfway, maybe a third of the way back down to where the original can shot it. So pretty similar results, about halfway down compared to what the Magnum was, about halfway down to what the Magnum was. No can shot the worst group here. The Magnum shot the worst group on the AR-15, and then the can shot the best group, which is total opposite results of what we got. So Magnum shot best group here, and then the new can shot medium. No can was the worst by far. So very, very interesting results. However, POI looks like it came back left a little bit with the 7.62 versus the Magnum. And then no can was pretty well vertical, straight above the crosshairs. Same with the 7.62 as the Magnum that was slightly right. But overall, left to right's pretty good. It's just the vertical shift that we're looking at there. So one of the main reasons I wanted to do this test was because these OSS cans are actually so similar. It's similar in design and function and everything. Like I mentioned, just the Magnum's a little bit larger, a little bit heavier. So the internal volume is going to be a little bit better for suppression, but obviously the different weights out on the ends of the muzzles is going to affect different rifles differently. And we definitely saw that out on the range today. But overall, with no air pro on, the AR-15 sounded just fine. My blackout shot sounded great when I shot that, and then my 6.5 Creedmoor sounded pretty good with the smaller can on there as well. I didn't really notice any big difference as far as man, one is so much louder or quieter than the other. It's kind of like, it's loud is all it is. So it's comfortable loud. It's not really ringing my ears or anything. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of comments like, oh, you need to wear a ear pro. I can't argue that, you probably should, but sometimes I just don't want to. So appreciate you guys coming out and joining me on the range. My name is Logan with West Desert Shooter. I will have links below to West Desert Shooter shirts. You can go pick one of those up. That'll help support me, as well as that affiliate link down to the Arc and Optics. That really helps out, and you guys get awesome scopes in the process. Be sure to check out Uintah Precision. Their rifles are super badass. I've been working with them for a few years and have nothing but good things to say about the Uintah Precision products, including their new semi-autos. So check out their website, check out the new semi-auto line. Super badass. I've really been enjoying mine. But until next time, guys, we will see you in the next one.